Johnny. It's a cheat. Johnny, sleep. Oh my God.
Welcome back to Q Dads. I'm Ben, and yes, episode 7 of Sunny has just dropped, giving us a more refreshing episode than the previous two, upping that pace ever so slightly. Even right from the offset, we're given some interesting scenes, and it makes us question, has Sunny really been taken to the dark side, and is Noriko's life actually in danger? And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the upcoming shows that we'll be covering, like Rings of Power Season 2, Silo Season 2, and even Severance Season 2 in the new year. So let's start with Susie and Mixie first. So in this episode, they seem to be having this kind of will they, won't they moment as they begin by waking up in bed together. Now, I'm finding this quite difficult to understand. If Mixie is falling for Susie or not, as towards the start of the episode, she gets really ticked off with Susie for pushing everyone away and essentially making the atmosphere so toxic. But by the end of the episode, she's kind of just wanting to be her best friend, so I just can't quite figure it out. Susie's past relationships have been with women, so it feels like this is what they're setting up for, and part of me also feels that they're going to wait to the last moment when Masa is revealed to be alive, adding that big wedge in for another season. But anyway, Mixie instructs Susie not to wake up Sunny until she returns. But in true normal fashion, she ignores Mixie and wakes up Sunny. Now, Sunny seems to have a real bad attitude in this episode and feels to me like a completely different version to what we've seen before. Almost like some kind of stroppy teenager, which makes me question, what has the Yakuza done? Now, me and Ste have previously predicted that Sunny has the memories or core beliefs of Masa or Zen. So, what if the Yakuza have taken that element away? As Ste has previously said, maybe Sunny does have two personalities, one being Zen, this kind and caring side, or the other one that can harm people, being Masa. And now if the Yakuza have taken away that caring side, this would then of course leave the grumpy version of Masa that we saw a couple episodes ago after attending Zen's school play. Is this the version of Masa that we are seeing depicted through Sunny? Now, later in the episode, Mixie returns and Susie and her get into a bit of an argument, which does get pretty heated. And in this moment, Sunny approaches and actually punches Mixie in the stomach, which obviously leads Susie to put her back to sleep. Now, before this happens, there is a scene towards the start of the episode where Susie's talking to Dee's voicemail. Now, towards the end of the episode, she gets a message back from that number, and Mixie intercepts this and ends up deleting it. But why? Does Mixie know who Dee is? Or has the Yakuza got to Dee too, as we do know very little about her? And I actually asked the question, why introduce Dee at all? Is this purely to help Susie's story and this future love triangle? Or is this to set up a future character? Now, wild theory for just a moment, has Dee and Masa secretly ran away together and that is the big secret to be revealed? Yeah, probably not, but worth a shout out just in case. Now, I don't think that Sunny has been changed by the code, purely on the basis that in previous episodes, the ones with the bot fights, Sunny actually does physically touch and harm a human when they push them away from Susie. So, by that logic alone, Sunny has always had the capability of hurting a human. So, when the Yakuza took Sunny, they couldn't have added the Dark Manual code. All they could have done is taken away the ability to change between good and bad, and maybe take that level of protection away, similar to when Sunny inserted the drive into herself to steal from Noriko. This of course causes Mixie and Susie to go to one of these underground robot repair shops to try and understand what is going on, but they find nothing other than a couple of trackers, one on Noriko and one on someone else. Susie and Mixie then head to the other tracker, which is in an apartment block, and as they search one by one to try and find them, they have no luck. That is until they check the basement, where they see the same guy who delivered Sunny to Susie, Yuki. Now, Yuki instantly says to Susie, "We need to talk," meaning he kind of knew she was on the way, or knows something that he's just not telling us. Again, this makes me question, why would the Yakuza be tracking him for? Do they know that he knows the real whereabouts of Masa or Zen? Is that the key to all of this, the final puzzle piece? Or, Stephen has mentioned this week that actually, could that be Masa's father? This would explain why he was able to deliver Suzie so promptly after Masa's death. And obviously, the name isn't the same one that we saw in the previous episode. But could this man just be using an alias? Now, we end the episode with Sunny waking up in front of this hypnotic screen. Now, at this point, we don't yet know if that hypnotic screen has actually worked and rebooted Sunny back to how she should be, or is she still going to be twisted by the Yakuza? That is the big question. Now, I want to briefly touch on Noriko and her time in prison. She seems to be getting on quite well with these people, and had a really strange and chirpy conversation with Sunny. But was this betrayal? As one of her cellmates told the story about someone else who purposely imprisoned themselves and had to be moved to a different cell block for safety, obviously hinting at the reason why Noriko is in prison in the first place. But she mentioned in there about talking to a homebot. Now, with Sunny being taken over by the Yakuza after that chirpy conversation that Noriko and Sunny had, did Sunny then relay this information back to Himé, who then obviously had informed her contact within the prison, as Noriko would be unaware that Sunny has taken and been twisted by the Yakuza. So I think this is how the inmates have found out. And yes, we do have Himé, who has lost the battle of power to her cousin Jin, but she has suspicions that Jin killed her father, ending his life quicker than she thought. But what is she going to do about this? She does decide towards the end of the episode by getting a gun. Now, is she going to be able to take revenge on Jin? And if she does, will the other Yakuza members see that as a sign of betrayal, or will they see that as a sign of respect and follow Himé? Personally, I think she's probably going to die in this season, but that's just my prediction. And yes, overall guys, this episode was actually quite refreshing, especially after the past two, which have been a little bit slower in my opinion. And it's building up quite nicely to the final episode. So, as always, it's not about me, and I've got a couple questions just for you. Are we leading up to a big reveal where Masa and Zen are going to be alive? And essentially, are they the key to the Dark Manual, this final puzzle piece? And of course, is Sunny going to remain working for the Yakuza or not? And how will all of this play out in those final scenes? Let me know in the comments as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can keep you covered with some of these great upcoming shows through this winter. And as always, we'll catch you next time with something new.